All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome back to our monthly workshop. Now we're going to dive into our December topic for that we have on schedule for today. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Again, this should be about 30 minutes long, and then we have Q&A. And I'm not stuck to the time, but I do honor your time. So I'm not, cemented into time and we got to be done at a certain time. So if you all have questions and want to give input, please let's do it. Okay. All right, let's jump up. I keep forgetting to share my screen. Okay, here we are. Okay, welcome. Here we go. So this December workshop for our virtual mastermind meeting is talking about fostering independence and critical thinking in children. Now, I will let you know that I am not an expert on this. And as I have 8 children, right? And I've said this before, I have 8 children, and I've gone through the teenage years well, I'm in the thick of teenage years now. It's 4 of them that's ganged up on me. So if anyone has pity for me for 4 teenagers at one time, please, I covet your your positive energy. But and so I am still learning how to foster this independence and critical thinking in my children. By nature, I could be a talker and a lecturer, but when they get to a certain stage, you gotta involve this critical thinking because teenagers will just zip their lips and be quiet and just listen and won't have any input. We just do all the talking. So let me let you know, I don't have this down packed perfect. And even as I was preparing for this workshop, and even as I talk to my teens now, I'm constantly implementing these things that I learned years ago because I forget. So I'm not perfect at these things. I'm still trying to master these, okay? So let's go through our introduction for this particular workshop, although many of you have already heard it. So I'm Angela Fafali Nyarko. I'm the homeschool mom of 8 children. We've been homeschooling for 24 years since my oldest, Annika, who's 28, she was 4 years old when we started. I tend to start all of them at 4 because at that time, for me, my children all started to be interested in doing something structured. And so we started at 4. So 24 years. Annika, which is in the blue, this blue box to the left of your screen and the box, that's Annika. She's 28. And then right below her, the boy in that blue box is Jordan. He's 26. Then above him at the top of the blue box is Norlani, who is 24. And then Takoa to the right of this box, she is 20. Then in the yellow box over here, my younger 4, which we all added to our family through adoption. Mario is in the pink shirt. He will be 18 in April. My twins, Ephraim and Tirza, they will be 16 in March. And then Benjamin, who is the youngest in the white shirt here, he in this yellow box, he is 13. So he just turned 13. He won't be 14 until August. Okay. So that's my brood. And the younger 4, we're still homeschooling. We're still in the thick of it. Let's talk about our objective for this workshop. So this workshop is to help parents, home educators understand the importance of fostering independence and critical thinking. Also to equip parents with practical strategies to encourage these skills in their children, okay? All right, so let's dive in. Why independence and critical thinking? Why does it matter? So the benefits of fostering independence is confidence, resilience, and self-motivation. And I've done well on this part because my concept in homeschooling was always, when it comes as it comes to academics and studies and homeschooling, was to work myself out of a job by the time I get to high school, meaning they don't need me. They are independent learners. And so I started that journey when they were kindergarten, and I had to start it with, they were that young, each of them, because I was always either pregnant, nursing, having my next child. I mean, that cycle went on for, in my early stages, and then we had adopted. So I needed them to be able to be independent in their studies and just independent because we had a large family. So I couldn't do everything for everybody. I had to train them to become independent. This part I got. Okay. So importance of critical thinking. This part I'm still working on. As far as problem solving, decision making, and adaptability. These are the important skills for them. And I should have also had add up here is, critical thinking, also that aids to them just having thoughts. Some people just don't have thoughts or an opinion, so I needed to add this to the screen. So also in this idea of why independence and critical thinking, why does it matter? Fostering independence builds confidence. So when children take ownership of tasks, they develop resilience, they learn to manage setbacks and feel a sense of accomplishment, you know? So for example, something as simple as making their bed each morning can set the tone for the day and give them a sense of pride, you know, something as simple as that. If that's not important to you, no, that's no cut to you at all. Um, and if that, you don't do that, that's fine. But that's just an example. Critical thinking, on the other hand, is essential for problem solving and adaptability. Okay. Just being able to think critically. It also allows them not to just be, blinded and believing anything that anyone says to them. Thinking critical about everything. So in today's fast changing world, our children need to analyze information, think creatively, think critically, and make informed decisions. I will tell you for the most part, that type of teaching is not happening in public schools. They are to sit and receive information and regurgitate information. But in our homeschools, we know just for the simple fact of adult life, they gotta have some thoughts. They must be able to articulate what they're thinking and have some thoughts, right? So this isn't just about academics, it's about preparing them for life, right? So imagine your child faced with a tough decision like resolving a disagreement with a friend, okay? A child with critical thinking skills can evaluate options and choose the best course of action, all right? So critical thinking. Let's talk about some strategies for fostering independence. All right. This one, yes, I can say yes, I've done well on this. So provide age appropriate responsibilities. Start off with chores and tasks, which of course will build confidence. Giving them some chores and expecting them to get it done. At one point, I eventually really, when I had more children, let's say by the time I got to child number 3, um, I had them with regular chores. They had to do chores every day. And do you know, I was driving myself nuts every day trying to think, okay, Annika, you are going to clean the stairs today. And okay, Chakoa, you are going to empty the trash cans. And Jordan, I want you. And I was thinking about this constantly. And I was like, ah. And they were excited when they were young to do chores. And I had to think of what the chores were. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So then I created the handy dandy chore lists. And from Monday to every day of the week, and for each child in the family, all they had to do is go look at the chore list. They had to get it done before school started. And then there was some chores in the evening. They just had to look at the list and get it done. And the only thing I asked was, did you get your chores done? Or they would come report and say chores were done. So that fosters responsibilities and some type of ownership for themselves in this. All right, let me go to the 18. For a younger child, this might mean putting chores away. For older kids, it could be helping plan a family meal or organizing their school schedules, their study schedules, okay? When they get to high school, high schoolers should definitely be taking on this type of independence. life skills, basically, because they will need it when they're leaving your home, right? So encourage decision making. What does that look like? Start with small choices, like letting your child pick between two snacks or decide what activity to do first in their homeschool day. Let them have a little bit of responsibility in those areas. This is how it kind of starts, you all. It starts just like this. So when they make choices about something, they learn about consequences and gain confidence in their ability to decide. They may say, they want to do math first, and they start math, and then they realize, in the morning, their brains are not ready for math. So then they realize what's really fun in the morning is to draw. Let me do my arts and crafts first. Or for the high schoolers, the same thing. Let them figure out what works for them. That gains some type of independence. Model the independence. Model what independence looks like for our children. So children learn so much by just watching us. So let them see how we solve problems, manage our time, or plan our day. Now, you may say, Angela, I'm not great with that. That is just not me. I'm not the most organized. Well, let them know that and let them see you struggle and let them see you figure out how we're going to make this work. Um, and if you find that you have some children who are great with that type of organizing of themselves, their day, their routine of life, then let them help you to do and give some suggestions, Narrate your, let me see, we got some comments here. So let's see. Yeah, Nefertara says she's 14. Yes, I have 4 teenagers. Thank you for your prayers. That's an excellent idea. Let them see how you manage. Yes, absolutely. Yep. And they would, for me, they know at that time because again, I had so many children. I have so many children. My life had to be as orderly as possible. So writing it down was a must. So narrate your thought process so they can follow your example. Okay, narrate it out. Let them hear you say, all right, so we need to get to dance class at this time. So that means we need to start preparing at this time. So everyone needs to be dressed and ready to go at this time. Let them hear how you work that out in your brain. All right. Next, strategies for developing critical thinking. Ask open-ended questions. You all, this is where I'm still developing this after now with another set of 4 teenagers. Ask open-ended questions. This helps develop critical thinking. So encourage children to explain their reasoning. Why do you think that's the best solution? And let them talk it out. Okay. and and give some thought to it. So for example, instead of asking, did you like this story? Ask, what did you like about the story and why? That makes them become engaged and they have to put some critical thinking to why. Now, if you have a son or a child like my second born, Jordan, uh, who literally would take 5 minutes before he could give me an answer. You have to work with a lot of patience. And I had to be at a certain mindset, certain amount of free time, and a certain amount of not being in a rush to ask him open-ended questions. Later, we will discover that Jordan, my second born, is on the spectrum. So he takes a long time to process what you just said and process what his answer is. And to this day, he is still the same way. So I had to be very patient and engaged, maybe for the 5 minutes waiting for him to answer. And that is not an exaggeration. So, but what did you like about the story and why? Making them think and having to articulate. So this encourages your child to think deeply and articulate their thoughts. All right. Another way is to introduce solving scenarios. This goes along with the critical thinking aspect. Present your child with a simple dilemma like this. What would you do if we ran out of milk for breakfast? Encourage them to think of solutions and explain their reasoning. Okay. You could do this with any and everything. The idea is getting them to talk, have a thought, being able to articulate that thought, solve the problem, or whatever the case may be. Celebrate when your child asks questions like this, just in their normal life. When they're little, they ask these questions all the time. When they're teenagers, it slows down. But here we go. Why does the moon change shape, right? Kids, little children ask a bazillion questions about everything, and that's beautiful. We want to have them keep that curiosity and interest and thinking as they grow older. What if we lived under the water? They ask questions like that. These are great opportunities to explore ideas together and build their critical thinking. If they say the question is, what if we lived underwater? And they ask you, and you say, what do you think? How would it be if we lived underwater? What do you think it would be like? Make them talk and give some answers. And then, like, wow, it's not right or wrong. We don't have to prove them right or wrong. The idea is to get them talking, especially when they're teens. Okay. Middle school years, also middle school years to teens. When they get a little older in the high school years, they become, many of mine, became opinionated. They knew everything by that time. If anyone can testify and say, yes, that's the case, amen. At a certain age, they know everything. So maybe I should say more so middle school age. They just slow down or their inquisitiveness and asking questions. Um, so problem solving scenarios. So you would do a role play, role play simple dilemmas to practice thinking through options. This is great as they become teenagers because, they kind of know everything already. So we want to help them think practically. Uh, do some role play. I'm still learning how to do this, you know, encourage curiosity. Support asking questions like why, how, or what if questions to all the ages. So why do you think that? Oh, well, how would that work if you spend all your money and get this thing and use up all your money from savings? How will that work? Oh, okay. The teenagers say they want to do that, and you don't want to just tell them you shouldn't do that because blah blah blah. You said, well, what if you do it like this? Have you ever thought about that option? And then let them give you their thoughts. Okay, I'm still developing that. All right, so those are some strategies for developing the critical thinking and fostering independence in our kids. I want to hear from you all. What are some ideas that you are utilizing for your children um, or focus on your children from all ages? Let me hear from you all. Help me out. Help me out with some things.
I know my situation might be a little different. I have a high schooler that talks too much. So, but I definitely agree with just having them make their own decisions with things, just like with the younger kids, letting them get themselves ready for the day. Like you said, kind of see what they want to do, if they want to do math, if they want to do reading, just
Mhm,
allowing them, like you said, to be independent.
mhm, mhm. Yes, yes. I have one child too that talks so much. I remember hearing TD Jakes some time ago. Heard him. He was talking about how he was such a talker as a teenager. He would talk to his mom continuously, and he would say he would be talking all kinds of just crazy things, and his mom never would say that is the craziest thing ever. But he said now he looks at it and just feels so sorry for his mom listening to all of his craziness that made no sense. And I feel that way with sometimes a lot of times with my son, like, what in the world did you come up with this from? What are you talking about? You're a far right. field. That makes no sense. I don't say it, but I just look at him like, really? But as they mature, hopefully the thinking gets better. But he talks a lot of nonsense. Um, Anyone else want to share some things that they do to help foster this independence or critical thinking skills? Let's see. Nefertari says, my children are like that. They follow me around and talk incessantly. Yes. When they're little, they do. But I want to tell you what. I want to tell you something. It is the best when they're young. It's a whole different type of dynamic when they're older. So eat it up, Nefertari. Even when you go to the washroom, well, I call it the washroom, the bathroom, and they all follow you, want to sit in the bathroom with you and talk. I don't know if you have any children like that. They still talk and talk and talk and talk about things and ask you questions and, have you banter back and forth with them about things. Yeah, like,
Well, I'm
yeah.
like you, Angela. I have the older ones and the younger ones.
Uh-huh.
And so they all, like the older one, I was in the washroom and she came in there to show me that her um earpod, earpod or whatever case was dirty. And
Mhm.
then that just turned into she hadn't done her chores. And then that turned into she wants to sew something. And I'm just looking at her like, you do realize that I'm trying to have a private moment.
Yes.
But so I've got the older ones and the younger ones.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa. I mean, I haven't had any, but I know I used to do that to my mom all the time. And now I just like, wow, I didn't even think anything of it. Like, she's in the bathroom. I'm
Right.
going in the bathroom and talk to my mom. That's a perfect time. And when they little, they did that, but my older ones, they're so private. They dare not come into the washroom. But just getting them to talk and me learning constantly and being aware to have open-ended conversation with them and not just I'm going to say the word preaching at them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting that. I'm still developing that. It's a constant struggle. Um, I don't know the word is
But one
struggle,
of the
but
things,
it's go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was
Oh,
going to say one of the things that I do to foster independence in the children is I
mhm.
try to make them feel like everything is their idea. And
Okay.
so if I say something and they give me pushback, you know, then I'll take something about it that they find honorable. And then I attribute that to them. And then next thing you know, they go, yeah, I see what you're saying. I could do it this way. And I'm just like, yeah,
Mm, that's
uh-huh.
that's good. That's good. I mean, that's really good. Yeah, I'm still developing that. That's a very good Nepatari.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, so, here it is. Think about one strategy, just one that you're committed to trying this week. Maybe something that we talked about, or Nefertari has shared a few things. So it might be, as far as assigning a small responsibility for them. You want to focus on that thing, that skill for the week, asking open-ended questions. I'm going to let that be my skill for my teams this week. I'm going to talk to them a lot and ask them a lot of open-ended questions to get their thought processes. Or maybe you're focused on how to help them solving problems. For me, I have not a lot of patience when it comes to solving problems, and I do with certain kids and some kids, some of my children I don't. The ones who I know are sharp, I want to say that's not the right word. Those who I know who are wise and often will make good decisions when it comes to solving problems. I love having conversations with them. And those children who are still maturing in their thought processes, it scares me to have a problem solving moment with them because they may come up with the some crazy decision. And I haven't learned how to I need to do the what if. So what if you do that? How is that going to turn out for you? And bring that back to that type of question. So I'm developing on that, you all. I can't say that enough. Hold on, where did my screen go? Sorry. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Excuse me. So before we wrap up, does anyone have any questions about these strategies or how to apply them in their own homeschool? let's get very, very practical before we go to our support group time. Any questions about it? All right, well, very good. So here's some final takeaways and contact information at any time, even those who are looking at this on replay or those who are, maybe viewing this from YouTube. If you have questions or some clarifications you want to have about any of these topics, send a message to us. I'm going to give you my information right just a moment. So here's some final takeaways in this workshop. As we wrap it up, I just want to leave you with this final thought. Fostering independence and critical thinking in your children or our children, it isn't about expect perfection. I got to remember that, or rushing their growth. See, so I'm preaching to myself. Um, it's about creating an environment where they feel safe to try, make mistakes, and learn, right? So every small step, whether it's letting them take on a new responsibility or encouraging them to solve a problem on their own, it builds their confidence and prepares them for a lifetime of learning and resilience. And I know this is true, but at this stage too, you want to also rescue your kids, but you can't. We got to let them uh, have these learning moments. So for those who are viewing, those who are members with AUCHU or who are looking at this from YouTube or wherever you may find this, um, here's our contact information. Feel free to reach out, uh, visit our website and see what we are all about, what we do. Here's the email address and phone number. Again, I'm Angela Fafali Nyarko, and I'm the owner of this association, A United Community of Homeschoolers Unlimited, as well as the director here. Okay, so thanks for joining in, and y'all take care. Have a good one. The workshop is over, but not our meeting time. So that's all for the workshop. I'll pause that there. Okay.